Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Gossip Mail Report, where we don't just spill the tea, we pour the whole pot. And today's brew? Woo, child, it's steaming, controversial, and straight up outrageous. Our girl GloRilla just got arrested, but not for what you'd expect. She was the victim of a home invasion, her house was broken into, her family was traumatized, valuables stolen, and somehow, she's the one who ends up in cuffs? Yeah, let's get into it. So here's the breakdown. GloRilla, real name Gloria Woods, called law enforcement for help after her home was burglarized. She wasn't even in town. Her family was staying at the house, and they were there when the break-in happened. Imagine the fear, the shock, the danger of someone storming into your home while you're inside. One of the occupants even fired shots at the intruders. This wasn't just some minor incident, it was a dangerous, potentially deadly home invasion. Now let's pause right there. That alone should have been the focus of the police response. Protecting the victims, launching a manhunt for the suspects, processing the scene for evidence, offering support to the shaken family doing their job. But instead, the police found a strong odor of marijuana during their visit. And what did they do? They called in the narcotics unit, got a search warrant, and turned a home invasion investigation into a drug raid. Let that sink in. A woman's home was violated. Her loved ones were in danger. And the cops went in with a mentality of, let's find something to charge her with. They claim that during the search, they found marijuana in plain view and in the closet of the master bedroom. Based on that, they issued an arrest warrant not for the burglars, not for any of the intruders, but for GloRilla, who hadn't even been home in days. So now she's facing felony drug charges, including possession of marijuana and a Schedule I controlled substance. She turned herself in at the Fulton County Jail and was released that same day after posting a $22,000 bond. So let's break this down. Home gets invaded. Victim is out of town. Family is traumatized. Jewelry and valuables stolen. Police smell weed and suddenly shift focus. Victim gets arrested. That's not just bad policing, that's a complete dereliction of duty. It's injustice dressed up in a badge and uniform. Now here's where it gets even messier, and you know we keep it all the way real on Gossip Mail Report. Let's talk about the racial dynamics at play here. We've seen this pattern before. When Black success is criminalized, when Black wealth is viewed with suspicion, when Black trauma is dismissed, when Black victims are treated like suspects. Atlanta may be called Black Hollywood, but let's not forget Georgia still has deep-rooted systemic issues, and some of the worst examples of over-policing happen right there in ATL. And don't even get me started on the Fulton County justice system. This is the same area that botched up the YSL trial, where rappers and artists are being treated like gang leaders and terrorists. The law seems to have one face for white-collar crime and another for hip-hop culture. The priorities? All the way messed up. This wasn't a drug sting. This wasn't a trafficking bust. This was a trauma call, and they twisted it into a felony arrest. GloRilla's attorneys, Marissa Goldberg and Drew Finling, said it best: this is a disturbing window into how warped law enforcement priorities have become. And they're absolutely right. Because who benefits here? Certainly not the community, not the family who was victimized, not the celebrity whose name is now splashed across headlines for the crime of calling 911. No, the system benefits. The institutions that gain clout for taking down a rapper, the officers who can claim a big name arrest, the machine that chews up Black stars and spits out mugshots and news coverage. Let's talk logistics. If someone broke into your house and you weren't home and something illegal was found, even if it was yours, does that justify ignoring the crime that just occurred? And if your family is traumatized and trying to process the danger they were just in, does it make sense to be met with hostility from the very people who are supposed to protect you? To me, this feels like retaliation. Like the cops were annoyed someone called them out of bed in the middle of the night and decided to flip the narrative to make themselves look good. You ever notice how some police departments seem more interested in racking up charges than actually solving crimes? And before anyone starts with, well, maybe she shouldn't have had weed in the house, let's be clear. Weed is legal in many parts of the U.S. Even in states where it's not fully legal, the criminalization of small amounts is dying out. Marijuana was not the reason they were called. It wasn't being sold. It wasn't packaged. It wasn't evidence in any crime. It was used as a loophole to punish someone, to slap on charges and turn a robbery victim into a criminal in the public eye. Let's not pretend weed is the real issue here. The real issue is why GloRilla was targeted in the first place, why her name is now trending for the wrong reasons. why there's more attention on her marijuana than on the people who broke into her house with guns and intent to steal. And can we talk about the timing? Because this didn't happen in isolation. It's happening during a time when Black celebrities are being scrutinized more than ever. When artists like Young Thug, Gunna, and others in the South are facing aggressive prosecutions, RICO charges, and courtroom dramatics. The South has never been subtle about how it treats powerful Black voices, especially those in hip-hop. It's exhausting, it's insulting, and it's dangerous. How many more times are we going to see Black artists criminalized for their lifestyle, punished for their success, and mocked when they ask for protection? Because let's be honest, if this had happened to a country singer in Nashville, do you think they would have ended up behind bars? If someone broke into Taylor Swift's house and the cops found a bottle of tequila on the counter, would they arrest her? Exactly. Let me be absolutely clear, GloRilla didn't deserve this. She deserved empathy. She deserved support. She deserved police officers who showed up and actually focused on the crime that happened. But instead, she got headlines. She got charges. She got humiliated for doing the right thing. Her legal team laid it all out. When her family members did the right thing and called law enforcement, instead of investigating the violent home invasion, they sought a search warrant when they spotted what they believed was a small amount of marijuana. And then, of course, they arrested her, not the burglars, not the people with the guns, just the homeowner, the celebrity, the target. This is about more than just GloRilla. This is about a system that punishes Black people for wealth, visibility, and survival. This is about policing that's become more about ego and power than protection. This is about the reality that no matter how much success you achieve, if you're Black in America, even in 2025, you're still at risk of being reduced to a mugshot over a bag of weed in your own home. So what do we do with this? We keep talking. We keep watching. We hold these departments accountable. We support our artists. And we challenge these outdated laws and biased enforcement tactics that keep cycling back every time a Black celebrity calls for help. Because this ain't justice. This is harassment dressed up as procedure. And we see it. Shout out to GloRilla and her family. I hope they file every lawsuit they can. I hope her lawyers drag the system through the mud. I hope they get every dime of damages they're owed. And more importantly, I hope this sparks change. Because what happened to her could have happened to anyone. And until we start calling this what it is, abuse of power, it's going to keep happening. That's it for today's episode of Gossip Mail Report. But trust me, this story isn't over. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Do y'all believe this was targeted? Do you think the weed charges were just an excuse? Should GloRilla sue? Should more celebs speak out? And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because we're not letting the media control the narrative. We're taking it back, one story at a time. Stay loud, stay informed, and stay watching Gossip Mail Report. Peace out, y'all.